So hey guys, and welcome to the video, and welcome to the 14th episode of my Perfect Park series here on Planet Coaster. Today we're going to be completely transforming the area and the terrain around this Mara spinning coaster. Do you remember in the last episode that I did on this Perfect Park series, I said, I'm not going to theme this Mara spinning coaster up very much. Well, that was a complete lie. I decided to do a complete 180 on that, and you will see this on this episode. I just thought, it looked a bit bland. There wasn't really anything that I wanted to do in particular with the area, so I thought, let's spice it up a bit and let's just go all out, and that's exactly what I do. I edit the terrain, I do a lot of rock work in this video. I add those rocks to the terrain really nicely, so just take a good look at this area because it will look completely different by the end of the episode. So this area, it will contain more than one roller coaster, I've decided, and that will be built in the next episode. I'm really excited to build that one actually, because the type of roller coaster that I've chosen, you can do some really creative things with, and if you know me at all in regards to my taste in roller coasters, you may be able to guess what it is already, but I'm not gonna say any more than that until we do get to next episode. So moving on with this episode in particular, I do theme this entire area to a loose Knights theme, so a very castle-y fairy tale theme, and I really like that theme overall. I like that sort of knights, castles. There's always something about that aesthetic that's interested me, and I really wanted to portray that in this video. Now, because this area took me so long to do, what I actually did was I stopped recording in some parts, and I started the recording again when I felt like it was necessary, just because again what you're seeing here is a good 5 hours of gameplay, all combined into a 30-minute episode, and you will see that as we go along. You'll see why it took me 5 hours to do, and that's why I wanted to put another ride in this area. So the ride that I will be doing next episode, it will interact with the area, but it won't be it won't go into the area as much as you think it will. But again, I've got plans for that, and I'll show you that in the next episode. So here you can see me start to build the station to this roller coaster. I ended up putting some wooden beams in the ceiling, just so when you're in a station, it looks a bit more authentic. Because if you look at old buildings from sort of the medieval times, when castles were popular and that kind of thing, you see a lot of wooden beams in the ceiling, just to add some structural integrity to that particular structure, and I decided to go with that here. It's the only building I really did it for. There's multiple buildings that go into this particular layout, as you'll see towards the end of the episode, but each one has its own part to play in this overall theme. So because this is themed to knights and old castles, you're probably wondering, what's the story behind this? So the story that I've chosen for this Mara spinning coaster is you are going into mountains to hunt dragons. You're looking for these dragons that have been terrorizing this kingdom, and you've got to go in and locate where they are and report back to the king at the end of it. And that's why I wanted the terrain to be in this way, because I wanted you to go through these valleys, and I wanted to go over water, and I wanted you to go through the terrain as well. That's actually a spoiler for half of this episode, because a lot of this roller coaster goes through the terrain. I make this roller coaster very terrain hugging towards the end of it, and again, that was done on purpose, and I do a tremendous amount of rock work to try and make that happen as well, because I wanted some fantastic near-miss elements to be on this particular roller coaster. I do love a good near-miss element. There are a few roller coasters in the UK that have near miss elements, and whenever I experience one, I really like it. Nemesis has a load, Icon arguably has a load, especially when you dip down before going to the second launch. Galactica Alton Towers has a load. There are a few roller coasters in the UK that have some great near miss elements, and I wanted this roller coaster to be exactly the same. I didn't want a dull moment on this roller coaster, and I really feel like the terrain and the way that I've themed this coaster adds to that. So I go along with this theme really not having a sense of direction in terms of anything to go by. So as I said at the start of this video, I didn't really have a vision for how I wanted this to look in particular. I just knew that I wanted a nice theme, because again, if I was going to do this, I was going to go big and I was going to go all out, which I did, and that's why it took me so much time, to be honest with you. But the end result is something that I was really proud of, and that's something you will see at the end of this video. And don't worry, there is a POV as always. When I do change something on these roller coasters, or I add a bit of theming to these roller coasters, I always try and add a POV to my videos. But you can start to see me adding the terrain in now. So this will go around the perimeter of the roller coaster itself, along with a few other bits of terrain that interact with the roller coaster in different parts. The entrance, or the first bit of the roller coaster before you get to the lift hill actually changes quite a bit within this whole process. Again, before you hit that lift hill, I wanted it to be a bit longer, so I did add that in there. And again, you do go through quite a bit of terrain to get to that lift hill. I wanted it to feel like a journey. And one thing also I wanted to do on this roller coaster was give you the sensation that you didn't know what was coming up. You didn't know where you were going, or where the track was going, or anything like that. And again, I feel like I did that pretty well. Let me know down in the comments if you feel like I did that. But make sure to watch till the end of the video so you see what this actually turns out like. So guys, I'm actually going to stop rambling. I'm going to let the video play for a bit, and then I'm going to come back. so he can start to see me do work on the helix sections at the end of this roller coaster. So as I said earlier, I wanted you to go over water, go through terrain, and really play with the landscape. And again, that is what I'm doing here. I wanted this area to be one big pool of water, but I wanted you to experience it in separate parts, and that's something you will see me start to achieve in the later parts of this episode. You can already start to see me doing a lot with the terrain, and that continues right on till the end of this episode. There are parts where I feel like I needed more terrain, so I add it. There are parts where I feel like I added too much terrain, so I actually go ahead and remove it. But one thing I do, and you'll see become a bit of a theme, is I add as much rock work as possible. This was so I could really get into the nitty-gritty of those near-miss elements. You'll see me add quite a few bits of rock work which really interact with the coaster, and again I add certain bits of rock work, so you go into bits of the terrain and you just don't know where you're going to come out of. If you had never ridden this roller coaster before, you would not know where you were going, and because you were spinning at the same time, I really feel like it adds that extra dimension of unpredictability about it, and that's what I like about spinning coasters, really. Not only can you get a completely different experience every time with a spinning coaster, but you can do interesting things with them in terms of getting them to interact with terrain in interesting ways, and again, just that unpredictability. Again, spinning coasters are really re-rideable in my opinion. Some coasters, like some Sierra Tivoli coasters, some smaller coasters, in my opinion, are just not re-rideable. I know the Rhombus Rocket at Fantasy Island is a bad example. I do really like the Rhombus Rocket, but I feel like when you ride that once, you've ridden it, as many times as you really need to. You don't really need to ride the Rhombus Rocket more than once. It's great fun though, so I do recommend doing so. But if you've been on the Rhombus Rocket, you'll know what I mean. I wanted to also talk a bit about what I've been doing lately in Planet Coaster. So this roller coaster, and the way I'm theming this roller coaster and the way that I'm theming this area, is a bit of an insight into how I've been playing this game recently. So instead of building roller coasters with interesting layouts, because I've done that 1,000 times, I've really tried to step up my theming game. I've tried to get better at theming, I've tried to make better themed areas, better buildings, and in this case, better themed roller coasters. Just because theming is something in my personal way of playing Planet Coaster, I've not really had much experience with, and it's good that I'm starting to get to grips with the terrain. Just look at the way that I've designed this park. I've really come far with the way I play Planet Coaster. If you watch the first episode of this Perfect Park series and then look now, I've learned so much more about the game, and that includes the way that theming and buildings are handled, and because of my understanding of that, I've really been trying again to play with that theming and play with the buildings and do some really interesting things with not only my roller coasters but my parks in general. And that's something that I'm going to add to this park as well. So there'll be an episode where I just go around separating different areas with bits of terrain, rocks, trees, and just really try to get some of my new skills put to use on this park, because I love the African themed area, and I love the area around Raven and Comet in this park. But I do feel like I could have done the theming better. So you'll notice me going around and doing some changes to those areas off camera. So if you see me, for instance, panning around some roller coasters, you may see some changes, and that's why. But I'm really going to try and add better theming going forward on this park. Again, I've learned so much and I've come so far with this game since the channel started, even because I really left Planet Coaster alone for about a year, and I sort of fell out of it, or fell out of love with it, sorry, because, you know, I was busy, and then I started playing it a lot because of the channel, and that really re-sparked my love for this game, and that's why I'm getting back into it and getting into elements of the game that I never really had any interest in. Again, that was the theming. So, you know, you are going to start to see that really creep up in these episodes going forward. I feel like that's because my Christmas Town series ended last Monday. I feel like that was a prime example as well of me at my best with theming. Apart from the actual town area itself, again, I feel like if I had more time to run that series, I would have done a better job with that, though, but that was just because of time constraints. If you don't mind the Christmas theme and you want to go back and watch my Christmas Town series, do go back. There's a playlist on the channel where you can watch all the Planet Coaster videos I've ever made, and they're all in there. It's all there for you. It is a good few hours, though, that playlist is now, because of how many episodes I've actually done of Planet Coaster. It's crazy if you think about it, how long I've actually spent on these episodes and how many I've actually recorded. Again, this is the 14th episode, and you've got to think these episodes have always been a good half an hour long, so that's a good chunk of time that I've spent recording these episodes. I absolutely love it, though, and I'm not stopping anytime soon, and I really hope you guys enjoy watching these videos. But as long as you watch these episodes, I'll keep doing them. And if you don't watch these episodes, I'll keep doing them anyway, because I like Planet Coaster. So guys, I'm going to stop rambling again. I seem to do that a lot, but I'm going to stop rambling and I am going to continue on and let this speed up. So here you can start to see me really finish off the terrain and the rock work for this roller coaster. I didn't really add very much more to this roller coaster after this particular part. I did do a bit to the start of the roller coaster, so just as you come off that incline then into those two helixes at the bottom of the lift hill, I do a bit of work around there in regards to the terrain and rock work, because I felt like I neglected that a bit, to be honest with you, and I felt like that was a bit bare compared to the rest of the roller coaster. In a second though, I do let you have a bird's eye view of the area, and I'm going to let that play in real time for you, just so you can see me panning over the area itself before the POV. So we have unfortunately come to the end of the episode. I really do hope that you've liked this episode, and as I say, this is pretty much how I'm going to theme my roller coasters going forward. I'm going to start putting a bit more effort, and I'm going to really put the knowledge that I've learned in regard to theming to use, and I'm going to make this park look better. And there will be a episode in this series in the future where I'm just going to go around and I'm just going to clean up the park. I've been saying this for a while now, actually, where I say I'm going to go around and clean the park. I actually do mean it. I will spend an episode doing that, and I will add some berms and some trees and some rock work, just to nicely separate the different areas of the park. So, you know, look out for that and do subscribe for that. So guys, if you have liked this video, please smack that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a single video. So, I've been Ryan from iCoaster. Enjoy this panorama view of this roller coaster and enjoy the POV. Goodbye.